Hey guys, Siren here, and welcome back to Lake of Voices. Let's continue on with the story, shall we? After some time, I noticed Margaret isn't keeping up with the guide as much as she was before. I realize it's because the guide has increased his pace. Margaret begins to jog in an effort to keep up with him, and Bemel and I do the same. Despite this, the guide keeps getting further away. We go faster and faster until suddenly we're on full sprinting across the slick wooden boards. Figures in the dark fog fly past us at a blur, and it occurs to me the branching paths in the bridge appear to be sinking. I try hard to swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something, but it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. I'm trying to piece together what he said. Don't stop. Turn? When he takes a masterfully sharp right down a different path using his own momentum and the sleek wood to slide into a new direction with no loss of speed. Margaret must not have worked out the warning either, as she is completely caught off guard by the guide's change in course. She runs straight ahead, past the turn, and continues down the path that we've been following until now. She clumsily begins to halt her momentum down the wrong ridge. Then I come up to the fork. I make a hard turn following the guide and leaving Margaret at the rear. Bemel's footsteps stay as loud as they were before. He's made the turn as close behind me as ever. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Margaret turn around and try to come back to us, only to have the bridge in front of her fall away. I slow down for breath, feeling the impulse to turn back, but ignore it. There's no time. Margaret can make the jump, and then she'll rejoin us. I keep my eyes glued to the guide's back, ears perked for Margaret's footsteps approaching behind us. And then I hear it, a scream. I whip around, sliding to a stop. Margaret is sinking. The bridge she is on is sinking into the water. She's disappearing. She didn't jump. What are you doing? Margaret's head shoots up, her face strained with all the color. Jump! She stumbles near the edge of the bridge, staring at the placid water of the lake. Even from a distance, I can see her shaking. I can't say if it's from the bridge's descent on her own fear, or her own fear. She barely seems to remain standing, and swallow painfully. Margaret bends and tries to jump. She curves in a small arc, achieving more height than she should, and lands directly in the lake with a muddled splash. Bemel starts beside me, but I grab his hand and pull. We start running again, leaving Margaret flailing in the water behind us. Oh dear goodness. Dang, this thing's getting dark. We don't need to watch this. We both know exactly what will happen to her now. Margaret's anguished cries pierce the night. Then the screaming stops. My legs grow weak. It isn't right, but I push myself to keep going. Bemel curses between heavy breaths, calling those things every foul name in his large book. I try to focus on the pounding of my feet, but my brain won't cooperate. Instead, I imagine Margaret's terror as she's clawed to pieces by the Nixie. After everything, I didn't help her. We left her in the dark. As the night wears on, our strength rapidly fades. How much longer will this last? People have to rest sometime, almost as if A response to my thought, the guide abruptly halts. I skip to a stop as well, sliding on the surface of the wood. Huh? Huh? Why did we stop? The male's voice, tired, but his guard is up. The guide doesn't answer, just stares down at something slightly out of view. I step up to join him, following his gaze further down the path. There, curled up in a little ball, illuminated by the lantern's light, cowers a person. His hands grip his head, and he rocks from side to side, mumbling incoherently. It's a man! I'm sorry, I just couldn't, please, I'm sorry. I'm struck with an array of questions. What's going on? Why would he wander out onto these bridges on his own? Did he make it this far by himself? Were there others with him? If that's somehow the case, I can't blame him for the state he's in, for the state of shock he's in. The man stops mumbling. He glances above him, seemingly only just now having the strength to lift his head.